Hi, this is János, it's Reverb Audio, and I'm continuing my series on tools for beginner DIYers. So I'm going to show you the actual website and tools, and you can see some approximate prices for them. Of course, if you live in different parts of the world, it's going to be different for you, and if you find different companies, it's going to be different, but you will have now access to the model numbers, and you can look for these or something equivalent or similar. So what I was showing you guys, one was this cutter. It's called micro bevel cutter, and you can search for the name if you want one for yourself. This is to cut wires, and having a high quality tool will really make a big difference. But if you are a really beginner and you don't want to invest anything more serious, then you can use whatever wire cutter you have. But it's just a but from me that if you get a micro bevel cutter, it will make much better cuts and will make your life very, very different. So if you try out, just use whatever you have, and if you have success with DIYing, with making interconnects, tweaking, modifying stuff, then this will be one of your best investments ever to get a micro bevel cutter that looks like that. And you see, it's $56, not cheap at all, but once you buy it, the pain is gone, it's over, and 10 years later, you will just literally think positively about the day when you bought it, because you will, for years and years, it will confirm that you made the right choice. And what's next? I haven't even talked about this. This is the SOLDAPULLT thing. So this is for desoldering. So when you messed up a solder joint and you want to remove something and you need to desolder it, then this is the tool. It's called the SOLDAPULLT. And that's how it looks like. And in real life, this is how it looks like. And basically, you push it in. I don't really want to, let's see. I pushed it on the side because when you push it, then bits of solder can fall out, and I don't want it to fall on my computer on the keyboard. So you push this thing in, and when it's pushed in, then you push this button, and then it releases the spring, and it sucks up the solder that is here. So you put it to the wire the joint where you want to desolder, press the button, and it sucks up the vacuum. So like this, you press and it goes up. That's it. So that's how you use it. This is a manual solder sucker, and you see it's like just under $20, and you can use one unit. I have several, but one has been lasting me for like almost 20 years, so these never go bad, and this is just a really good thing. What else? And now you also want to have a solder station, right? I was talking about the Hakko, and today the Hakko FX888D. That's the modern version of my Hakko 936. If you can find a Hakko 936, which is now a vintage or antique version that I have, it's 25 years old, you can still buy it. It will be good as new, very reliable. But if you want the modern version of it, the FX888D, that's the direct descendant of the 936. And I think even their solder tips are interchangeable. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I looked into this many years ago when it came out, and I think that's what I found, that even their iron is interchangeable between the 936 and the FX888. If you get this, then that T18-D16 tip they give with it, that's the same tip that I'm using for most of my soldering. It's a chisel tip, and it's a fine tip, so you can use it for fine work. If you work on PCB circuit boards, that kind of stuff, it's perfect for that. But if you want to work on heavy gauge wires, then I really recommend to get a heavier tip. But don't worry, what I'm doing on right here in my Darling amp, I have like gauge 12 wire in it. I'm using this baby chisel tip with it, and it melts the solder like butter, and it's just perfect. But if you work a lot on those heavy gauge wires, then you really want to have a heavier gauge tip. Wait, this is the same tip. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this is T18-DL32, and this is the same chisel tip like that one, so it means that the tip goes like that. So it's not a perfectly round, but it's a flat tip, and I much prefer it to the perfectly round tips, because you can get a much bigger surface connection to a wire. So if you are a point-to-point connections guy, so you work on vacuum tube amplifiers, then the chisel tip is much better. If you are mainly a solid state guy, then I think then you want the round tip when you want to work on those micro teeny teensy stuff, right? But here you want some solid heat transfer, and the chisel tip will give you that. And the DR32, that's something that this tip I've been using this as well, and it's well worth the how much is it? It's ridiculous, like $6. Okay, $6.77. So it's not an arm and a leg. Just when you buy Hakko, if you decide to buy it, just get this extra tip with it, and you are set for any challenge in the soldering department. What else do I have? I think I also have meters. Okay, let's start, let's not start with the big boy. Here there's a page, I will copy the link. This is like all the available brands. You can click on all of them and find one that suits your budget. But the ones that you will find here are quality gear, and you can go ahead and get any of them. And if you want, this is here the Fluke basic handheld multimeters. If you get any of these are very high quality gear. If you know Fluke, that's the brand you want to get if you want to get multimeters. Super duper reliable, dependent. 20 years later it will still work, and well worth the investment. So if you think about buying a $30 meter, it might even be sometimes dangerous to use in certain situations. It will not get you the voltage rating you need to work on amplifiers, I mean vacuum tube amplifiers, and it will have problems with you and probably break down in a few years, and you have to just toss it into the landfill and get a Fluke meter a couple years down the road. You can really prevent all that pain for yourself and get a meter, a Fluke right away. The only time when you want to go to that, I wanna really help the landfill grow bigger in the shortest possible time road, is when you are really strapped for cash and you can't afford more than $50 for a meter. Then get the $50 meter, and then as you grow, then get a proper meter, and maybe keep that $50 meter as a backup and as a second meter for purposes that I explained to you in my first video of this series. So here what it says, it's on sale for a little under $150, and that will get you what you need, and it works up to 600 volts. And remember what I said, if the voltages are higher than what your meter can read, then don't screw with it, don't try to measure it, you will just end up killing yourself. So that's a danger zone. So if the voltage is higher, then don't even try to measure it, because then number one, you will ruin your meter, and you might ruin your life as well, or might ruin the continuation of your life. So Going to the other one, this is the meter that I recommend for those of you who have been DIYing for a long time. You have a basic meter already, maybe that Fluke that I showed, and you want to step up, then this one, the Fluke 87 series, Fluke 87V, is something that's going to bring a big change into your life. And I know it's $500 on sale for $450. That sounds crazy and ridiculous, but just think about that. This will last you 20 plus years, and it will make you so much more effective, and will make it a joy to use instead of suffering. And also it measures the voltage faster. It gives you more precise measurements. It's a true RMS meter. And what happens with that, especially when you try to measure very high voltages like 400-500 volts in that range, then cheaper meters have difficulty getting a precise reading for higher voltages. And sometimes if the probe is not connected well, you might measure something maybe like 50 volts or 10 volts or something like that, and then you get cocky and you think it's only 10 volts, and you touch it and you kill yourself, or you get really injured really badly. But these, the more expensive meters, they give you measurement faster and much more accurate, and just increase your job security or your security, DIY security, many fold compared to cheaper meters. But I have to tell you that other Fluke meter I showed to you, that $150 meter, that's also a very reliable, very dependent meter. And if you have about that much money to spend, then even if you just have to deny yourself a couple of Starbucks coffees, then I really urge you to do that. Resist the urge of Starbucks and put aside the money for that $150 meter, and don't cheap out on a $50, $60, $70 crappy meter that might get you killed. Okay, go for that Fluke, and that will be just as dependable as the bigger brother, but this will be much more comfier. And when I got it, it was, I couldn't even believe how much better it made my DIY life. I was really astonished at it, and it's really worth it. So just think about it this way: when you are DIYing, you are saving thousands of dollars for yourself, because the stuff you build, you save thousands of dollars compared to buying that same sound quality in the store. And if you think that $500 expenditure for a $5,000 save, or maybe a $10,000, or depends on what you are working on, it's really a bargain. So think about that way, that what you are gaining, you can purchase it from the savings you have done, even on a single DAC or even on a single amplifier that you are working on. So basically, if you are just build a single-ended triode amplifier, you save so much money for yourself that even if you shell out $500 for a sevies meter, you have still saved thousands of dollars compared to buying a single-ended triode amp in the stores. Do I have anything else? What do I have here? I think I have looked at these other links. That's it. So that's it for this video, and I hope this is useful for everyone and gives you ideas on the tools you need, where you can find them, and how much they cost. So enjoy DIYing, have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.